All right. So we are talking about why your first house may not be your dream house. And it's kind of going off of what we talked about in the last episode of selling a home in order to buy your dream house. And so a lot of times in the last, I would say like year or two, especially like I've um been approached by my buyers that bought like 5 6 years ago. I'm like, okay, this isn't my dream house. I'm ready to make the jump forward. But we want to specifically talk to those buyers that you're renting right now, never owned a home, and you're just scared.
Yep.
And I get it. I was so sick to my stomach when I bought my house. Were you sick to your stomach when you bought your house?
We pushed our budget on our first house.
Oh, we did too.
And
It was
we are so happy
Yeah.
that we did. I think people always look back and wish they bought 5 years.
Absolutely.
You think about 5 years ago now, 2020. People wish now that they bought then.
Oh, absolutely.
In 2020, people wish they had bought a few years sooner.
Right. Because they were able to capitalize on the equity built at the lower prices back in 2020.
And that's the key.
Right.
It is outside. Interest rates are outside of your control.
Yeah.
Outside of our control. So you have to find the purchase price and the monthly payment
Right.
that works for you.
Right.
And that may mean it doesn't check all the boxes.
Right.
But it gets you in the door.
Yep.
It has you building equity
Right.
to then be able to turn around on a future date.
Yeah.
Or that dream home.
So I posted on my Instagram back in October. If you go to where it's a picture of me in this white pink suit, I was looking firefly, but it says buying in 2025 versus 2027. So I break down what it is going to look like 2 years from now if you bought now. So, for example, on a $900,000 home, you put 20% down. The rates are like 6.25-ish right now. That payment is going to be about $6,300 a month. Then fast forward 2 years from now, with the way economists are projecting for home value appreciations to go, that house is now going to be worth about more than what you bought it for 2 years prior. So not only have you kept your mortgage payment at $600 a month, but you just made $90,000 in equity that you didn't have 2 years prior. So fast forward, if you don't buy now and you wait until 2027, that same house at $990,000, that payment, if rates stay the same, is going to be $6,800 a month. So not only did you increase your monthly payment by $500, you have $0 in equity except for whatever you put down on the house.
Yep.
So that's the cost of waiting.
Yep. And if rates do go down,
right,
you can take that $90,000 equity and take the lower rate in 2 years.
Refinance.
And refinance.
Yes. But then the problem with rates going down further in the next 2 years and you don't buy is that buyers will push the prices up. So if you can get your foot in the door in the next year, I would encourage you to consider doing it. Now, we're not going to push you into a house that you absolutely hate, but if being a homeowner and like buying your dream house is in your goals that you're setting for yourselves, and you want that to be accomplished in the next 5 to 10 years, start thinking about getting in now.
Mm-hmm.
You can save some money.
Yep. If you know where you want to be,
right,
and you feel like your job is stable,
right,
and you have some money in the bank,
mm-hmm,
you should be looking at buying.
Absolutely. Because the stock market is very volatile right now.
Rates are volatile.
Rates are volatile. Yep. Rent payments are only going up.
Yep. And then you control your house.
Right.
And with everything else going up, that's only gonna benefit.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What are you, when you're talking to clients and you're going through their needs and the wants, what are you seeing? What's your discussion with that? And like, how do you advise them? How do you help them process through all of that?
Yeah. I mean, typically we schedule like a 45-minute, no obligation Zoom call. and I have you fill out a questionnaire that helps me get to know you. And then also just gives me a general idea of like what your goals are and like why you're thinking about buying at this moment. So then with that, I then will, before we even start looking at houses, before, even if they're, 6, 12 months out, before we even start like putting a search together, I have them connect with a lender because the numbers need to make sense. There's no reason for me to be taking you out and wasting your time if you are A, super uncomfortable with the mortgage payment, or B, you just can't afford it. Like the numbers just don't work right. So like in that scenario, I'm then going to encourage you to talk with the lender and like put a kind of a goal spreadsheet together or something like that, where you're kind of forecasting, okay, when could this be a reality? I'm expecting my next contract or union worker to go up by 27%, speaking from my husband's job, in 2028. So that's a huge increase in pay. What could that look like for me, 2 years from now? And the goal isn't, with this podcast, is not to tell you like, you need to buy today, you need to beat the house. We want to encourage you to understand what your options are so that when it does come up, you're ready to go. You know what to look for.
Yeah.
But then in tangent with that, I do have you fill out my buyer workbook, and it's 6 pages, very detailed, getting to know like what you're looking for in a home from a really, really broad type of search into a more narrow search where we're only looking at the homes that make sense for your must-haves. And I would say, there's a needs list and there's a want list. If we can check, I would say at least 70% of your needs list, I think that house or condo or townhouse is probably worth considering. And obviously in tangent with is the more, if we're talking wants, if your budget allows for you to get a bunch of those wants ticked off, great, even better, right? But I would say be really, really strict with your needs list. If you're looking for your starter home and you're not going to be able to, at this point, afford your dream house, is really, really focusing on the needs list. If you can check some boxes on the want list, even better.
Yeah.
Cherry on top.
Yep. And I think we referenced this in our last podcast. There's the financial aspect and there's the emotional aspect.
Yep.
And I think if the financial makes sense, look at the emotional and what can you skip out on and what can't you?
Right.
And sometimes you have, especially when you have like couples buying together,
right,
you really have to dig deep on that and come to an agreement.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
We always encourage people start the process.
Yeah.
Look at the numbers, look at the needs and wants, see what's out there. Both sides of ours are no obligation. That is always worth starting the process.
Mm-hmm. It's just a conversation and it's just an educational moment for you to understand, okay, when the time is right, does this actually make sense emotionally and financially?
Yeah. Because I think the one thing that I feel very confident in saying is if you are in a position to buy right now,
right,
and you don't, you're going to wish you did 5 years.
Absolutely. So we are an open book. Yep. Our DMs are open. Our DMs, is that what you say?
I would say.
Yeah. Get inboxes.
Yeah. Inboxes. Yeah.
We're open. So if you ever have any questions or you want to schedule, no obligation to call with one of us, please reach out anytime. Our contact info is in the show notes, on YouTube, on Instagram, on wherever you listen to this podcast. We'd love to hear from you. If we can help you, reach out anytime.
Yeah.
Cheers.